Atlas is an extremely powerful Warframe, but most players don't know how to mod him. This Warframe has one of the most satisfying gameplay loops in the entire game and makes high-level content like the Steel Path and level cap extremely easy. In today's video, we're going to learn everything that we need to know about throwing together a strong and spammable Atlas build. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and a comment of your in-game name to enter into a Omniforma bundle giveaway for every 2,000 likes that we get on this video, and let's jump right into it. First, let's talk about Atlas's abilities. His first ability, Landslide, is his most used and most powerful ability. Landslide makes Atlas dash forward and punch all of the enemies caught within his radius, dealing massive damage and building combo to deal even more damage with follow-up hits. We can augment this ability with his Rubble Heap augment for his passive to make it a free cast and even more powerful. You see, Atlas has a unique passive where as he punches enemies that have been turned into stone by his Petrify ability, he builds up Rubble. Rubble is going to give Atlas more armor and restore his health, but more importantly, if we equip the Rubble Heap augment, it's going to make Landslide deal double the damage, travel 2 times faster, and cost no energy. So Rubble Heap being equipped is a no-brainer. Atlas's second ability is called Tectonics, where Atlas is going to build a wall, and upon recasting the ability, he turns it into a ball and shoves it forward towards enemies, dealing damage. This ability doesn't deal enough damage to be worth using, so we're going to use the game's Helm system instead to subsume on Nourish, as Nourish is going to increase the amount of damage that our first ability deals and allow for a more spammy playstyle through the energy multiplier that it provides. Atlas's third ability is essential for this build to work, so we have to keep it on. As stated before, casting this ability on an enemy is going to turn them to stone, allowing Atlas to punch them and build up rubble. Atlas's fourth ability, Rumblers, for this build, honestly, could be ignored. Atlas is going to spawn in 2 different stone guardians that are going to run around dealing damage to and distracting enemies. Again, unfortunately, the amount of damage that the Rumblers deal make them pretty underwhelming. So we're only going to be building for Landslide, Nourish, and Petrify, which means we're going to need to have a good balance of strength, range, and duration, leaning more into range because more range means more targets hit with one punch and more enemies turn to stone with one cast of Petrify. The higher our ability strength is, the more damage we're going to deal, and duration is going to allow us to turn on and forget about Nourish because it's going to last for about 40 seconds with this build. With that being said, let's take a look at the build. Rubble Heap has to be equipped as our mandatory augment mod to make this build work. I'm opting to use Overextended and Archon Stretch for range. You can use the normal version of Stretch if you want to. Archon Stretch just gives us the option of using electric damage on our fists or allowing our companions to proc it for us. Flame Rage, Umbral Intensify, Power Drift, and the Multi-Augmented Arcane are going to be used to bump up my ability strength, leaving us with 258% ability strength after 250 kills. A simple Archon Continuity for a bonus 55% ability duration. It also gives us the option of applying a corrosive status effect if we opt to use toxin damage on Atlas's fists, a Prime Flow for energy sustain, then Brief Respite and Rolling Guard to keep us alive as we're spamming our abilities and rolling around. Now, some of you might have noticed that I'm not running Equilibrium on this build, and that's because I've opted to put all of my eggs in the Effectiveness of Energy Orbs basket. Now, what do I mean by that? With this build, Nourish is giving us over double the amount of energy from all sources. So if you were to pick up an energy orb that gives you 100 energy, it would instead give you 200 energy. Our Landslide ability is going to be 100% free to use when we build up our Rubble to 1400 or above. Our Nourish ability lasts roughly 40 seconds, so we only need to cast this once every 40 seconds, which is more than enough time to pick up a single energy orb. Our Rumblers we're never going to cast because they don't really help us out, which then leaves Petrify. This is the only ability in the kit where we need to spam it to petrify enemies and maintain our Rubble. This is going to cost us 116.2 energy to cast, and with Prime Flow equipped, we're going to have 755 reserve energy. From here, what I would recommend doing is equipping 4 Amber Archon Shards to make Atlas feel way better to play, 2 for cast speed, and 2 for effectiveness of energy orbs. I tried using Violet Archon Shards for the equilibrium effect, but it really didn't do as much for my energy economy as I would have liked, hence the investment into the Amber Archon Shards for the energy orb effectiveness. On energy or pickup with Nourish active, you're going to get 145 energy, which is more than we need for a single cast of Petrify. In your last Archon Shard slot, I recommend slotting a Violet Archon Shard for bonus melee critical damage. The effectiveness of this shard is going to be doubled as we're running a Prime Flow and we have that 755 reserve energy. Speaking of damage, this is the Fist build that I want you guys to run. Do not use melee influence as you're going to be one-shotting literally everything, no matter the build that you're running on Atlas and his fists. If you're one-shotting your target, melee influence isn't going to work. If we want to take our damage dealing even further, we can equip a pet with the Tenacious Bomb mod equipped. This is going to increase our crit damage multiplier, leading to bigger damage numbers. We can also equip the arcane called Arcane Avenger, which gives us more critical chance when we get shot at, basically eliminating the need to run a Wrathful Advance Subsume. Then for our weapons, I recommend running a Latron Prime Incarnate with a primer build that looks like this. I also recommend having the Arcane Primary Auxiliary, as this is going to give us more passive energy regen. Make sure to be using the Flensing Spikes evolution to fully strip away enemies' armor as you shoot them with the Latron's Incarnate form. I'm opting to use a Primer Epitaph Prime build with secondary dexterity equipped to give us longer combo duration, which benefits our fists. And then for my melee, I'm running the Praetos for its Evolved Ascension evolution and a melee influence build that looks like this. Alright, so we're going to do a quick little gameplay demo here in a Conjunction Survival. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn on my Nourish ability. Now I'm going to petrify all of these enemies, and if I kill those enemies, they drop the rubble. You can see the rubble increasing in the bottom right hand corner. Now ideally, we want to keep on petrifying the enemies just so we can kill them and build up our rubble initially. Then our first ability is going to be free to cast once we hit that 1400 number. So you can see that we just drop below it, but if I get a kill, I go up to 1500. Now I can just keep on spamming my one, and you can see that it costs literally no energy. But what you got to do is you got to press free and then one, press free and then one, press free and then one, and you keep on going in that loop, turning on Nourish when you need it. And if you just keep that up, you'll see that your combo in the middle just keeps on building up and up and up and up and up. And as that combo builds up and up and up, obviously you're going to deal way more damage. So you can see that's 17 million. This enemy, it's 2 million. You know what I mean? It's going to be different depending on the enemy that you hit. Also the amount of status effects that you've got applied too. So if I were to apply a bunch of status effects with my Epitaph Prime, and now there you go, you can see like 32 million. Let's spam a little bit more, 19 million, a bunch of different red numbers just on the screen. The other thing we can do is we can use our Latron to strip away the armor of the enemies and also prime them as well, and that's going to make you deal massive damage. But that's basically the gameplay loop. So what I like to do is just fly through the air with the Latron, petrify one, fly through the air with the Latron, petrify one, and just keep on doing that. And that's the way that you're going to deal the maximum amount of damage. Anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching, and make sure to check out another one of my videos to help out the YouTube channel.